The impeachment trial of President Donald Trump is just hours away after months of debate, hearings, and partisan talking points.
Those things are far from over. So what can we expect to see in the Senate? Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio is here to talk more with us. We usually see you, right around election time.
Yes.
This is different.
It is, because it's historic, right?
Yeah.
Only the third time in history that this has happened.
Let's compare this impeachment to the others we've seen in the past. It's quite a bit different.
It is on many, many levels, right? And it's been the most divided, most partisan in history. And well, quite frankly, it's tough to make comparisons when there's only two other cases. When one is way back in the 1800s.
Right.
Of course, President Clinton's in the late 90s, much more recent. Maybe more similar to this than certainly than the one from Andrew Johnson, but still very partisan, as you said, Jay, and it's going to continue to be that way.
How do a lot of the times the problem is many of the people involved today were part of the Clinton impeachment. So when you have somebody like Chuck Schumer saying today we're going to change everything that Mitch McConnell wants to do, and that we absolutely have to call witnesses, but then you have him on tape saying it back in January of 1999, there's no need to call witnesses.
Right. Let's be
in a different, obviously.
Let's be honest about it. Hypocrisy's everywhere. In this, right? And both sides are changing their stories somewhat. There's some folks out there that are having consistent opinions, but those are the rare ones, right? Yeah. They're changing their opinions to match what's politically best for their side at the moment.
And let's talk a little bit about that. What is this doing to the psyche of voters in America, especially with an election coming up? Right. Who is this going to benefit, if anybody, if any side?
I think we have to wait to see how this Senate process plays out. Right now, the chances that President Trump is removed from office are slim to none. There's just not the votes there to make that happen. Things could change. As you both know, politics can change in a heartbeat, right? But I think in terms of the election, if we look at some of the recent polling data that's been out there, I think a lot of voters and a lot of Americans are kind of throwing their hands up. Let's not forget, there's been a month, we're over a month removed from the vote in the House to actually impeach the president, and I think a lot of voters are asking themselves, well, what's been going on for the last month? Well,
yeah, I mean, that's the question, because I mean, the everyday, I always say, the everyday average person going to work that kind of listens to this in one ear while getting their kids to school is not as close to it as you are, as she is, as I am. I mean, this is our business, and that's what we talk about. So we seem more familiar with it. You talk to some people, they go, well, I thought that happened already in December.
Exactly.
They don't even realize what's going on.
Right. And that's because Americans have very busy lives, as we all know. Yeah. And quite frankly, they're worried about other issues. They're worried about how are the roads going to get fixed in Michigan? What are my health care costs? What's my job situation like? Right. Those are I think about those as kitchen table issues, and not necessarily what's happening inside the Beltway. Yeah.
Walk us through what's going to happen today. How long do you think this is going to go on, and just how it's all going to unfold? Right.
Well, today is all about procedure. Today, the Senate is going to hear a resolution and debate a resolution by Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, for what the rules of this process will be like for however long it lasts.
Both sides get what, 2 24-hour days, basically 12, right? They get a lot of time.
That's what's being proposed in this resolution. Whether it passes or not, which it probably will, but whether, or maybe it gets amended. But if it goes through, the impeachment managers from the House will get 24 hours, and the president's attorneys will get 24 hours that they'll have to make their initial case, and then we'll go to questions from the senators that will be proposed in writing, handed to Chief Justice Roberts, who will read them to the basically lawyers that are acting there. And then we'll probably confront the question of witnesses. Do additional witnesses get called? And that is where this process could move from being very short to being very long.
Right, especially when you have a gang of 3 or 4 GOP legislators that could influence on whether we do see the witnesses.
Right. Folks like Mitt Romney, Susan Collins are seeming like they want to support calling of witnesses, which makes Democrats happy. But Democrats be careful what you wish for.
There's an election coming up.
There's an election coming up, and if folks like John Bolton get called, guess what? Hunter Biden's going to get called.
Yeah.
Joe Biden might get called. Right. So that will make it more of a circus than it already is.
We could easily add another 40 minutes to this
talk. We really could.
But we have to go.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Anytime,
we know you're busy.
Yeah, great seeing you. Thank you, too.
Thanks, Professor.